See you guys as well. Per usual, we have a lot to talk about today. We've got to start with some breaking Kim Kardashian news. She's been holed up, if you have been following this story, in New York City as she recovers from Monday morning's horrifying armed robbery in Paris. But she has been spotted just a little while ago. And I know this is big because we really haven't seen her at all.
Yeah, this is the first time since she arrived, actually.
Sure.
We did get some arrival pictures when she arrived into New York on Tuesday, right? Yes, Tuesday. But this is the first time she's emerged from the apartment. She left with, that's not from this morning, by the way. That's from when she arrived
Tuesday,
earlier this week. But she left the Airbnb that they are renting down in southern Manhattan with Kanye and the two kids. We're told that they were each holding a child as they left, and of course the paparazzi were going crazy. But right now, we don't know where they're going, and historically, meaning, I don't know, 5 days ago, it was easy to find out where they were going.
Sure, because of social media.
Yeah. We don't know now, and that's deliberate, and we can all understand why. They don't want to be saying, okay, we're leaving now and we're going here. She's obviously feeling very vulnerable. So that's the latest from this morning.
We're also hearing that Kim will be taking a month off from work. She is going to be pulling back on social media. Do we know if this social media thing could last for a long, long time? I mean, you got to think. I mean, obviously, this maybe isn't something they're thinking about right now, but you think about the money that they make on social media, the ads, the sponsorships. So it's not just, hey, I'm in this location, look at, my nice things. They're making a ton of money.
But I don't think that has to change, though, right? I think it's just the other things that she also shares. So maybe she's not putting as much out about her whereabouts or the jewelry that she has or the new rings or whatever it may be. You pull back on that and you still do the brand endorsements and the sponsorships and those sort of curated, highly controlled pieces of social media content. Maybe just rein it in on the personal front.
A month off from work, too. I think that's smart. I think it needs to happen, especially in a situation like this. But this is unprecedented territory when you think about this family, because they are everywhere. They go everywhere. We know everything about their lives. You think it's a good move?
Well, yeah, I have some info on that. So what I've been told, I just was texting with someone pretty close to Kim who told me that she's probably taking a month off. That's not set in stone. So if you're reading that out there today...
Could be a few weeks, maybe.
That's the truth. That's the real story, is that probably taking about a month off. And what that means is really public appearances. That doesn't necessarily mean social media or anything like that. And also, by the way...
There was one in Dubai, too, right, that she had to cancel?
That's apparently going to be rescheduled. That's what the press release said.
Right,
we will see how that goes. But is it a good idea? Whatever is going to make her feel safe and healthy and secure, and her priorities obviously are her children and her family, like whatever she needs to do that, of course that's good. I mean, if it's 8 months, 10 months, whatever it is, I think she should take that time.
No, absolutely. And not just her, but Kanye also. I sort of wonder how this is going to affect his choices over the next month or so. If she's taking a month off and they want to be together, does that mean he's taking a month off, or is she just going where he goes? We mentioned the Dubai opportunity, the master class that Makeup by Mario had mentioned her canceling. If she continues down that road, I'm just wondering if this means that Kanye's concerts will also be delayed or rescheduled.
Well, that's the million-dollar question, because he does have 2 shows this weekend in Chicago. We saw him infamously walk off the stage like any husband would do in New York when he first heard this news. What do you do in those situations when you have fans dying to hear your music and watch you sing on stage?
Yeah, he did take off. He had a show on Tuesday in Philly that was rescheduled for later this year. He had a show in Auburn Hills, Michigan, outside of Detroit, scheduled for tonight, that he also is rescheduling. And but the show in Chicago for tomorrow night and Saturday, there's 2 different shows. One's downtown at the United Center on Friday, out at the Allstate Arena in suburban Chicago on Saturday night. He is making both of those. As far as like what he does after that, I think, look, he has a lot of obligations with that. And I am sure, and I haven't talked to Kim about this, but my impression is that Kim wants him to work, wants him to be performing, and the last thing she would want is for their lives to just be, completely shut down from this. She's much stronger than that, and I'm sure of that. But as far as the question that I asked someone was, is she going to be traveling with him now all the time? And I was told specifically that would not be accurate to say. But as far as details of what that's going to mean, I think we're just gonna have to watch it play out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but I was looking at it from a perspective of, like I'm Kanye, my kids, my wife. I mean, she was just bound and gagged and tied up, and she could have been killed. And I would just feel super protective and scared. I'd be like, no, you're coming with me.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying necessarily Kim would think she needs that. Kim's very independent and very strong, and so I could see Kanye saying, I want you to be with me all the
Wanting that,
time,
and she's like,
and her saying,
baby,
no,
you're fine.
yeah.
I think it's just
go
going to be a time thing, and it'll all play out after a bit of time. But when you're dealing with a story of this magnitude, the rumors start to set in. They started immediately after the incident, and I heard one today about Kim possibly using a body double.
Right.
The family may use a body double to protect her.
Okay.
That
Well, she was
sounds.
doing that anyway. She did that on one episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Okay, but was it just
they
to be
did do that.
funny? I mean,
A serious
going
vibe.
going
Forgot about
forward
that one.
in life. Well, first off,
Well, it sounds ridiculous.
should girls start
Okay.
I
lining
don't
up?
think it sounds ridiculous.
Well,
I think
it
that's
might-
not a bad idea.
Well, yeah, no, I agree because, by the way, it's been done, but it's not what you think. It's not like, oh, she's gonna
You got
walk
it, what I
out.
gotta
It's
say.
gonna be like out of some James Bond movie or something, and then they get up to the person and they rip the mask off. No, it's more how this is used, and this is a very not super common, but it has been done. They will have people like in a wig, and they'll be covering up their face, wearing her clothes, going in a car. And then the car speeds off, and people see in the car, and they think, oh, Kim left, and everyone goes and follows them. This has been done before. This has been done, where assistants will put a wig on and da-da-da, and the paparazzi will clear out, like they're just ants marching, all following each other. And so I wouldn't be surprised. That's not our reporting, but that's not... I was just told, literally, I have it here on text, that, and I want to be accurate here, that security has been amped up 1,000%. Now, of course, I'm no mathematician. 100% is
A lot of percent.
the more you can do, but 1,000%.
But it creates a bigger. Keep going.
Well, just meaning that security is going to be a whole new world.
Well,
There's
there
a new
were
normal.
like 30 security guards outside of their New York City apartment once they arrived back. So if that's any display of just how seriously they're taking it, then this is just the beginning.
And that was like a president arriving Tuesday. I haven't seen anything like that with anybody in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Look at that. That's
headache?
it. That's outside New
look at
York.
that.
But we haven't heard of anything like this with anyone in so long. Like, this is just beyond. It's such a story. So that makes sense to me, honestly. If they're not taking any chances, then every single one of those guards, I think, is reasonable to be there.
Can you imagine that lifestyle?
Well,
Where you have to literally have 12 to 15 security guards. You have to consider a body double.
Yeah.
To me, these are just questions I have with my friends when I'm, at dinner or whatever. Is it worth it?
Yeah.
But you think of all of the things that Kim is processing right now in the middle of this, and you feel bad for her. I mean, I know people can say what they want about Kim, but this was a really, really scary thing that happened to her.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I think,
wow.
and the question about is it worth it is a good one to ask, especially when you make it more personal. So the millions of dollars and the whatever else in this amazing lifestyle, is it worth it? Not when you think about the fact that she's a mother, she's a sister, she's a wife. I think that's when you start to, wonder how worth it is. Like, at the end of the day, we know that she loves her children and her husband, and that has to go first priority.
Right.
So it does make you wonder what she's tossing around in her head, too.
Something to of what you were saying in terms of security and the investment and all. We crunched some numbers here, and I was doing some math yesterday myself. It'll be close to, if you had bodyguards are about $800 a day to just have a basic bodyguard.
You have how many again?
That's how I know. I have a team of them.
You have the pricing guide.
But if she had, and you said 30, but I was just kind of splitting the difference. And
Let's
I did
say
some math.
12 or 15.
Well, so I did some math on it, and it came out to, if she had the security detail, essentially, that she had on on Tuesday in New York City. And I think, now Wednesday it got smaller, but that would be about $4.4 million a year just on the man hours. That's not including the cars and all the other things. And that's, by the way, just 8 hours. This is 24 hours in a day, by the way.
But
so
this just
it's not realistic.
This just in, Kim can afford that.
I was going to say, I think it is realistic and it's worth it.
100%.
Yep.
I think at a certain point, it's impractical.
It's impractical, and I think she'll be doing less public appearances if she has to stick to that many people, because it just creates chaos. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Time definitely will tell.
I don't know. Can I say one more thing about the social media aspects of it? And we're going to be getting to your comments, I know. But I was looking up this morning. Katy Perry is, if not the most followed person on Twitter, is
Selena's on Instagram, over 100 million.
Yeah, and I think it was Katy Perry. I'm not sure. But Katy Perry is about 95 million followers. Kim has under 50 million followers, and she's way more personal. So in other words, Katy Perry, if you go and look, she's like, I love this song. Oh my God. And she's joking around. There's very little, I have no idea where Katy Perry is looking at her social media.
Yeah. Right.
So that is what I think is going to be the big change with social media. Not that she's not using social media, but that it's going to be used in a different way. You were kind of alluding to that.
Yeah, no, I think it will be used in a different way. But I feel like she loves her fans so much, and they've come to expect and want to know her every move. And when that's sort of how you've built your career and your fame, and there's this really close relationship with them, I imagine it would be hard to pull back, after having given so much for so long and been
People
so positively received. Yeah.
Right.
So that's hard to do. So I think Katy Perry and Kim Kardashian are also two different types of, celebrity. So Katy doesn't have to tweet that stuff because we're waiting for a single or whatever it is, but we're so intrigued by Kim's world, and she knows that, and she shares it with us. So I just wonder how much she'll pull back without feeling bad about the fact that she's not giving fans what they want.
But I think that Kim has reached that level where...
No, she can stop immediately and all will be fine. Trust me. I'm just saying from a standpoint where she appreciates and loves her fans, which I know she does, I wonder how much she will be willing to pull back and not,
Well, she's been completely
for sure,
silent.
the next few weeks.
Yeah, which we'll get into in just a sec, because someone in the family did just speak out a little while ago. I want to hear from you guys specifically, because you have a lot to say on Facebook. This one from Clarita. Kim deserves time to get over this life-changing event, go to therapy, etc., and reevaluate her life. Why rush back into the public? We've got 100%. Any more?
Yeah.
Let's read a couple more.
Sure.
Let's read 3. Here's Lauren. It should be interesting for Kim to find a balance going forward, since she is genuinely such an open book, how to reel it back but stay on brand.
That's the challenge.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. And then one more. Let's do one more coming in on Facebook right now. Kim taking a month off would be completely normal to me. Heck, if I were her, I'd stay out of the spotlight for much longer. Just a few people of the thousands watching right now on Facebook and online. We always appreciate you guys checking those comments off and reading them off to us and writing them out to us. All right, so the family, like we said, going back to what we were just talking a second ago, they've taken a full social media hiatus, a break. A lot of people wondering if Kim's going to do an interview about this. Still, at this point, don't know that. But Kourtney did break her social media silence last night. She put this tweet out. She grabbed we grabbed it from a daily devotional book that she took a picture of. And a very inspiring thing right there. So Kourtney and Caitlyn have now reacted on social media. Do we know who's next? Do we have any idea who's going to say anything next? Or is it going to be something where the less the better at this point?
Well, obviously everyone's waiting for Kim and what she's going to share and how she's going to communicate it.
Caitlyn spoke out.
Yeah, Caitlyn
She said
did.
that she loves her girl. Obviously, posted a black and white photo of Kim, so that's another person to break the silence. I think slowly but surely we're going to hear more.
Yeah, I frankly, I think the security aspect had a ripple effect throughout the family. I mean, this is really because any one of the Kardashian Jenners could feel extremely vulnerable. Yeah. Kendall, particularly, she is such a big star in the modeling world and everything, and she completely disappeared once this went down. She left that city. The fear, I think, must have been really high, and they all must have been feeling so vulnerable with good reason. So I think that social media is definitely taking a back burner, and personal safety is the first and foremost thing right now.
All right, let's circle back to Kim, because there's been a bit of movement regarding the investigation into the armed robbery. So French authorities are reportedly starting to focus in on the concierge who was on duty that night. There might be some inconsistencies in what he told Paris police. Do we have any updates on that, Kenny?
Well, that's not our reporting necessarily. So what's happening is the French authorities are trying to, they can't assume anything, and they're combing through everything that there is. There's a report out there that there's video that shows the guys' faces and them getting on the bikes, but none of this we have seen, and for obvious reasons they want to keep it. But look how this is a very relatively small building, by the way. So there wasn't. There was apparently an entrance that was used for maintenance and security staff and all that stuff, and that's what they were using. But I have to say, I'm a little bit shocked. I mean, if you go back, gosh, was it about a year when that horrible multiple terrorist shootings happened in Paris? Mm-hmm. And I remember that my memory of it is within about 24 to 48 hours, they were the police were in multiple countries doing raids. They'd found out so much about these terrorists, and they actually the day of they chased one out into the French countryside and was right on them. I'm really somewhat surprised that there has been no break, no arrest, no suspects. No
one's been caught on camera.
I mean,
more than one camera.
So this is the question I'm going to ask. Is it that, boy, these thieves were really, really good? These are professionals. These are sophisticated guys who are part of some bigger international jewelry heist ring. Or is it that it's important to us, but the French police are like, look, we're dealing with terrorism. We got some other important things. No one's saying that publicly. The mayor came out and said, oh, we're going to get to the bottom of it. But I have to think that, from my observation, the French police investigators are extremely good at what they do, and the fact that they don't have anything, I don't know, it just seems
maybe they have
strange.
bigger fish to fry. Well, if you look at the
Sunday morning, there's nothing.
If you look at the main Paris publications, newspapers that came out the next day, I think only one of them led with the story the next day after it broke.
It's important to us, but maybe not so much there. They have other issues. Like in our world, we're like, God, this is the biggest story, but they have a lot of things. And I was doing the same. I was looking at some of the French news, and this has definitely gone down into the back pages, and so I'm questioning that personally. Yeah. I mean, we had the issue of the security guard Pascal Duvier. Okay, so there's a report out there today that was talking about Pascal and how there he is right there. How he might be. Having bankrupt, he filed for bankruptcy.
He did file for bankruptcy.
Yeah, he filed for bankruptcy 10 weeks ago with debt totaling, I believe, $1.2 million.
Right.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying it's interesting that everyone who's involved in this is now being looked at, he's not a suspect, obviously, or anything like that. But in fact, I was told by a source that he was just at the New York City apartment, still protecting Kim, dealing with her bags and stuff in New York this morning.
Everyone was so ready to persecute him, immediately. And Kim, the family sort of jumped to his defense and said, this isn't him. Don't worry about that. He's still working for the family. But I will say it was odd to notice his social media behavior. I get the internet trolls, not cool. Anyone would want to step away from that. But I mean, he was on Instagram. There were, traces of Kardashians on his profile. Then this happened. The trolls came. He completely shut down his account. Then he reactivated it, but removed all traces of the Kardashian family.
Well, because he was becoming a star. He was becoming the story, and that's the problem.
But that's
when you're a security guard, you can't be the story. Yeah. You're supposed to protect the story.
So are you saying that the internet has made him the story, like the court of public opinion has, or he put himself out there?
I think it's a mixture of both.
Yes.
When you're putting pictures of yourself out there guarding Kim and making it about you in a sense, then Listen, it's going to come back at some point to bite you, unfortunately. So I thought it was a good move that he would remove himself from social media, but now he's purged. He's purged his account. He's back. It's just, it's a little bit of odd behavior.
Wait, but so you're saying like, I'm unclear. Are you saying like, dude, shut down your social media?
Yes.
I just think, like all or nothing. If you like the fact that you deleted all traces of Kardashian, we still know who you are.
Especially
you know what I mean?
right now.
So if you're really trying to take a step back, it's only been a few days.
Yeah.
Why would you be back on Instagram? What are you posting in the next few weeks? You need to be on your job, I would imagine, focusing on keeping this family safe. I'm not saying he's not doing that just because he's back on Instagram, but if the whole idea was he needed to retreat into the shadows because he was getting all of this hate and negativity, why come back on Instagram so quickly? Sure, you deleted the traces of the Kardashians, but you're still protecting them.
Remember when Kim was single for a little bit there between Chris Humphries and Kanye, and she had this really good-looking bodyguard? Do you remember that? Like, and they were convinced like she was dating him and all this kind of stuff. I remember specifically having a conversation with her about it, and the point being that he ended up being moved off to another assignment. It just gets to a point where what you're saying is that it's a big distraction, and they should not be a focus of attention. They need to be invisible and only visible when like crap goes down. Like when that idiot from the Ukraine just a few days before this, last Wednesday in France, basically tried to attack her. He tried to kiss her
for the
butt
second
or whatever
time.
he was doing. Yeah, and Pascal, he took his face and put it right into the sidewalk.
Yeah, he was definitely there for that, for sure, which was a solid move, but that should be a daily occurrence. That's what you're paid all this money to do. I'm going to get a couple of your opinions on the investigation on Facebook in just a sec, but there is one potential clue that French authorities are digging into. According to The Sun UK, cameras in a shoe shop across the street from Kim's apartment spotted a car with tinted windows passing by 3 separate times after the armed men had entered the building. So at least there are some traces now. Because initially, how in the world was this not caught on CCTV, closed circuit television, with all the cameras around there? So I just hope in the coming days that they'll be able to find more of that footage. So let me read a couple of comments from you guys right now, if we have some. Cool. Because I know, okay, we're going to go back and
Can I say something about the security footage? So yesterday we were talking about a nail salon across the street that caught, reportedly, an image of the robbers in the car park area, like the little parking lot behind the building. Now, it was shot through a mirror. Like it was by accident that they caught that. So here we are. Like, we're bouncing off mirrored images of something outside through a window by accident from a nail salon. I'm telling you, that No Address Hotel is what it's called, where Kanye has that apartment. I would not feel safe being there. There's no security. Like, what if someone stole my wallet and left my room? I'd be like, do you guys have footage? I'd be like, oh, no.
Well,
we
that'll
don't have any
change for
footage.
sure.
We don't have any cameras. I'm like, okay.
Was that
like,
your terrible French
that was my
accent
French
there?
accent.
Send your comments. Now we have comments on Facebook.
Seriously. I just feel like that is really not cool. And I think if I'm a high-profile person, that's going to hurt the business of this place.
I mean, at this point, they're... Can we say screwed? Is that
I'm pretty sure it's already out there.
Pardon my French, but at this point they're screwed. I think the idea was that they didn't need all of that security before because it was so low profile. It was so subtle and sort of inconspicuous on that French block. Now, of course, they're going to need security and the works and whatever else, but I think the damage is done.
Absolutely. All right, more on Kim, more on the investigation later on, and of course tonight on E! News at 7 and 11. But let's change gears. Big weekend at the box office coming up if you're thinking of heading to the movies. The most anticipated release this weekend is definitely The Girl on the Train. It's a thriller starring Emily Blunt. It opens on October 7th, and we got our hands on an exclusive clip just for Live from Me. So check this out.
Okay.
Do you remember seeing this woman? She worked for your ex-husband. She's gone missing.
What do you mean she's missing?
Well, her husband said she never came back home the same night you got off the train in Ardsley-on-Hudson.
I was just.
Do you know Megan Hipwell?
No.
Did you see her?
No, I don't think so.
Is that because you were inebriated? Just to clarify, you said you were at work Friday?
Right.
It's my understanding you were fired from that job over a year ago because of your drinking problem.
The Girl on the Train opens October 7th at theaters nationwide. Okay, so this next story got us thinking, since there's a chance that Kim's ordeal might have been triggered by her social media posts. It begs the question if Twitter and Instagram are more trouble than they're worth for celebrities. You've got Chrissy Teigen, who just made her Twitter account private. Bieber famously deleted his Instagram not too long ago. Do you think we'll see more of this, Zuri? Is this a solid move because of the hate, because of all the drama that celebrities are dealing with?
Absolutely.
With potential fans or trolls?
I just think everything goes in cycles, right? And we are getting to this point where everyone is becoming so overexposed. We all are the stars of our own little reality shows on Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram. It's interesting, though, because it's one of those things where you're trying to, and I'm not accusing any one person of this, but have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
A lot of these people have built their fame, built their following, gotten that loyal base from sharing so much on social media. I am obsessed with Chrissy Teigen. I love her. You know, and a lot of the reason why we follow these people is because they give so much of themselves and they're funny and they're witty and whatever. But then it starts to take that negative turn, and then you start getting the internet trolls and the hate. But it's sort of like, it's all or nothing, you know? So I get that this is happening. I think there's going to be more of it. And I think it's okay. It's smart for them to want to pull back. I mean, it's funny to me that, you know, someone will put their Twitter to private. You still have 2.8 million people following.
Here's the thing. You don't have to defend an egg. If someone doesn't have an avatar pic up there and it's an egg and they write something mean, don't be offended by it.
Is that
that's
your Twitter
That's
rule
my
you
new
live
motto.
by, Jason?
Yes,
by the way,
because they're hiding in your parents' basement.
Chrissy Teigen, the Chrissy Teigen thing, excellent points, by the way. I concur, Professor. But I think that the Chrissy Teigen thing is a bunch of BS. Love Chrissy. She's not on private, meaning only people that she follows can see her.
It's 3 million people.
Millions can still
welcomed
comment.
into the
But
private.
she was
That's not getting off social media. Right?
Here's the thing, though.
Like,
She
it's
puts
just not.
a lot of times with politics after the recent VP debate, she has a lot of strong opinions. So I bet outsiders that don't follow her were hacking her account, for lack of a better term, or trolling her account and writing a lot of different things. So I think she was trying to prevent people that don't follow her already from doing that.
Tweeting
but
and doing
she's
stuff.
the type of person that puts it out there like that. It's not like, oh, I'm making this dish today. So she has to expect that. But people are just so mean beyond that. It's one thing to disagree with her.
I'm starting to get it, actually, just in this moment. I guess I do kind of get it because of the idea that she's just gone to private. Whoever follows her. She's not going to get the extra stuff, because she talked about the fact that she's absorbing like 24/7 bad stuff. Her mind can't handle it. Her body can't handle it anymore. And it kind of does weigh on you. I feel like we've all been there on a much smaller capacity for myself. Jason, I don't know. They're probably blowing up your mentions every night.
Uncle JJ?
But
well, not really.
When the negativity comes, though, it sticks with you. For 1,000 positive tweets, you get that one that just rubs you the wrong way, and it carries you.
That's just how we're wired. And I think we were talking about this on set not too long ago. You guys need to know if we have a bad show or a bad hair day or say something dumb live on the air or in an interview, I promise you, we are tougher on ourselves than you can ever be. We've realized it before you've ever said anything or tweeted it. So just know that.
I think that what celebrities who are overly sensitive and all that need to realize is that there's posting and then there's consuming content, like that you're reading from people commenting or reading other people's posts. You don't have to do both. I mean, there's a lot of people who have accounts and they don't post anything. There's a lot of people who just post and don't read anything. And it seems like, I don't think any of these celebrities have problems with, like, certainly Justin Bieber had no problem just tweeting pictures of his butt and Instagramming, all that kind of stuff. He loves to expose himself. He loves to say, get attention. He didn't like the pushback and all that. But, you know, he doesn't have to read the stuff. And if I was advising these celebrities, I'd be like, look, if you really...
A lot easier said than done, Ken.
Well, yeah, but you can do it. It's called discipline. I mean, hello, like earmuffs, blinders, like just do it.
Sometimes it's an escape for celebrities when they walk off of the stage. It's an escape for them when they walk off the stage or they finish shooting to talk to their fans because they want to communicate with them, and then they read these things.
Communicate to them, say,
we're all
hey,
human,
it was a great
and it's
show.
going to hurt your feelings.
So what? Great, then don't read the stuff. Like, in other words, if you're sitting down at a table and you're like, here, I have this really nice tuna salmon platter that I just love and I'm really hungry right now, or I have a pile of poo. What am I going to eat? I'm going to eat what tastes good. I'm not gonna read stuff that I know is gonna make me feel bad. Be done with it. It's just 101.
When does your preaching podcast come out?
I think tuna tastes like poo, so this isn't really Steve.
There we go.
I hate tuna.
All right.
I like it.
Let's move on to the ladies who love to bring the drama. The Real Housewives, of course. Former Atlanta housewife Kim Zolciak is going off in a major Snapchat rant. We're going to get to that in a sec. But first, New York housewife Dorinda Medley has some anger issues too. She's making headlines today for allegedly attacking investment banker Sylvester Minotaur IV with, of all things, her stilettos. What happened, Zuri? Because I know you love the housewives.
So I keep up with these housewives, I do. Let me just say, she was well lubricated. You know, she apologized the next day.
Excuse me?
Well,
she was a little saucy.
Oh,
she was a little.
Thank you for clarifying.
Oh, jeez. Mine's.
She
you
was
guys.
slippery.
I'm not gonna take
She
that
was
bait.
slippery.
Look,
Hello.
listen,
going on here?
I don't know,
Did
but
you
I'm gonna
mean
get this
inebriated?
back out
All
of
right,
her
move
mouth.
on. Let her.
Keep it going.
She went to lunch, gentlemen. She went to lunch and she drank a lot, okay? And then she moved on to the next spot. And at that point, she was intoxicated. Apparently, it's being said that she attacked Sylvester with her stiletto. Her shoes were off, so the heels were in her
It's an
hand.
expensive shoe.
You know, I would expect nothing less. Nothing but an expensive shoe. But in her defense, if you can defend something like this, it was her late husband's birthday. So you can only imagine sort of
Okay.
the emotional stress she was probably going through that day. At one point, her boyfriend, John, did show up, take her home, excuse her, and apologize on her behalf. And the next day, she was apologizing nonstop. But she did say she never attacked someone. So even the next day, she said that never happened, and her heels were in her hand because her feet hurt. And I have done that too, many a time.
Either way,
Not
it's-
attacked people with my heels, but taken them off.
It's good TV.
You know?
The
I love
producers,
it.
I bet, are loving it.
I mean,
Keep it coming, Dorinda.
with her as an example, I mean, this is her job. This is their job, is to be ridiculous. I mean, for her to not go on and have a freak out session would be like Taylor Swift doing a concert, not doing Shake It Off. It would just be completely inappropriate.
I agree.
Now to Kim Zolciak. So, you know, she loves her daughter, of course. She loves her family, always very outspoken. Last night, she went on this rampage on Snapchat, addressing people saying mean and negative things about her 19-year-old daughter, Brielle. Here is some of what she had to say.
Oh, hell no, you on Bravo TV under Brielle's pictures writing comments. You with the wrong one, honey. The wrong one. So you guys want to know how I've manifested this amazing life and have an amazing husband, 6 healthy, beautiful children. It's because of who the I am and how I treat people. And when I say it's because of who I am, it's because of who I am, my character, who I am as a person. I do what I say I'm going to do. I'm a woman of my word. I'm honest. I don't have these blessings because I sit behind a computer screen and write nasty comments about a 19-year-old. I would love for all you to post your daughter on your page so I can tell you exactly what the I think about her. Okay, you low-life pieces of get off Bravo TV and stop talking about my daughter and get a life.
Woo! There it is.
Man. Oh,
Hi,
That's for Kim.
Kim loves these, so I bet she's watching right now. Too much or justified?
I think it was a lot. But I think it was justified, honestly. Listen, she's playing
Is she
Mama
a
Bear
mother
right
of
now.
4 and
Yes, she's got a handful of kids.
It's 6.
almost a 40-year-old. She has
Well,
6 kids.
she's got two young boys. She's got
6
Brielle, another
okay.
daughter. Yeah.
Okay, so she has 6 kids. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
This is the thing. So you're saying maybe the mode of attack was inappropriate? At the end of the day, the deranged look in her face on that screenshot is hilarious.
Yeah.
But thank you for
Crazy eyes.
I love
Nightmare.
it. Though. I think she's playing Mama Bear. And at the end of the day, if I'm a 19-year-old and my mom comes to my defense like that, I'm going to be like, that's all right, Mama. There you go. Thank you very much.
I understand the impulse, but she needs to just rein it in. I mean,
What do you think
at a
she should have
certain point,
uploaded a video, civilly asking people quite politely?
But do you
reconsider?
watch Kim's show? That's what
It goes
she
back
does.
to what I
That's
said.
why she has her own show and spin-offs. This is her
It goes back-
personality.
And what did she do that was so wrong? She was hyped about it. She was a little worked up, sure. But what did she say? If you sort of strip that down and say it calmly, why are you guys talking about a 19-year-old? How about you upload a picture of your daughter? Well, she did say upload a picture of your daughter and see what I say. But she's just saying put the shoe on the other foot. See how you would feel if you were in my
She didn't take the 10-minute rule. It's the 10-minute rule.
Okay,
You
but-
wait 10. You just kind of cool off a
simmer
little
down
bit.
and
With
then
Snapchat and social media, you can't do that.
No.
You put it out there immediately. I don't have beef with it. What's your problem with it?
Well, Zuri, I know what you're saying, but I'm also looking at it from the kid's perspective. She's setting an example of, okay, when someone makes you mad or they attack you, this is how you behave. You just like lose your mind.
True.
And also what scares me is that when you see her doing this in a public way, like oh my gosh, usually in real life, like when the social media cameras aren't on, people are more nightmares. Like, so I'm just like, oh my gosh.
You're imagining what she's like.
Oh, I was also thinking about, what if I was her husband? I'd be, oh man.
We've got
That
a couple
poor
of
guy.
comments, some mean comments about Ken Baker. We're gonna I'm kidding.
That's not news.
This is actually about Kim Z. Jenna said, you can't put your kids out there for the world to see and then be angry when trolls attack them. Sad world we live in, but that's the facts.
True.
Any more? Any more? You know,
many
why not?
more.
Here's
So
another one.
many.
Kara, love Kim standing up for her kid. No one deserves to be bullied, whether you're a celebrity
That's
or
what
a
I'm
regular
saying.
person.
not
I'm with
saying-
you, Kara.
I'm not saying you can't expect the trolls to come out. But I think it's also fair to be able to stand up for yourself against them. Like, fine, you guys can come at me, but I have the right to come back at you. I'm not saying, well, she is saying maybe you guys should stop, but if they don't, I think she has every right to defend herself or stand up for her daughter.
A ton of comments. Let me read one more before we move on. I know, Ken. You
I
wanna
have more to
something.
say.
We just don't have the time.
All right, fine.
Not saying bullying is okay, but when you're a celebrity, you really shouldn't be shocked. Your controversial daughter is getting some hate. 10 more seconds, Ken.
No, what I wanted to say is, okay, hate me, control room. Can we just rack up
Here we go.
Kim's
I knew you were
rant?
gonna do this.
No, because I just think it's important. This is what we do, people. We overanalyze.
You want to hear the rant
I
again?
want to hear the rant, and we can put it on low, and we can talk over it. But
Honestly, I'm not opposed to that. I'm going to try to see it through Ken's eyes, but I
Okay,
think I'm
because-
sticking to what I think.
I believe she's upset still. So let's take a look.
Hell no, you on Bravo TV under Brielle's pictures writing comments. You with the wrong one, honey. The wrong one. So you guys want to know how I've like manifested this amazing life and have an amazing husband, 6 healthy, beautiful children. It's because of who the I am and how I treat people. And when I say it's because of who I am, it's because of who I am, my character, who I am as a person. I do what I say I'm going to do. I'm a woman of my word. I'm honest. I don't have these blessings because I sit behind a computer screen and write nasty comments about a 19-year-old. I would love for all you to post your daughter on your page so I can tell you exactly what the I think about her. Okay, you low-life pieces of get off Bravo TV and stop talking about my daughter and get a life.
okay.
But you need them to stay on Bravo TV, girl. That's how the bills are getting
Yeah,
paid.
I know. She's like, get off. Don't watch my show.
Think
That
about
didn't
it
make
now.
sense. But she was angry. But she doesn't need the F-bombs.
The
She doesn't need the
F-bombs.
S-bombs.
But they curse all the
doesn't-
time.
So
Everybody in the
what,
family
Ken?
curses. That's one of their things.
Like, yeah.
Whatever happened to civility, for God's sakes? And by the way, this is not on camera. She's not getting paid for this, by the way.
But
this is real life.
promotion. This builds her brand. This
Yeah,
is
but-
giving them more of what they want to see.
But I think there's just a different way to do it. And actually, the beginning was really palatable.
Yeah.
And at the end, she just lost. She became unhinged. That's the problem I have. It's that part. Do you understand what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
do you want to see it again? Do you need to see it again?
Can we
Run it
re-rack that?
again.
No, they're going to
Please
hate
don't
me.
run it.
That's all right.
All right, you guys have a lot more to say about Kim Kardashian, so let's read a couple more of your Facebook comments. They're coming in. I think I jumped the gun earlier in the show. Now we have them all. Here they are.
Nice.
Most people wish for fame and fortune, but sometimes it's more of a curse. A private life will never be attainable for Kim. Coming in from Remy. Thank you for the comment, Remy. And I think we've got another couple of more. Let's pop that next one up there from Becca Prawer. As a big fan of Kim's, I wonder if we'll feel like we don't know her as much if she turns more private, like how Bieber deleted his Instagram. Interesting. Any more updates? Because we've been on the air now for almost 40 minutes.
Yes.
We do know that Kim has... we've seen bags. We've seen movement in her New York City Airbnb or apartment.
Yeah.
Any update or just kind of circle back to
The latest we
those-
saw is within the last hour, we saw Kim, Kanye, and the kids leaving the apartment in Tribeca, downtown Manhattan, for those of you who aren't familiar. And they went into these big Escalades and drove off. It's unclear where they're going. And we made the point earlier that, well, Kanye has a show tomorrow in Chicago. But we also made the point earlier that it used to be really easy to find out where Kim was going. She would
those
probably
dots,
be
yeah.
Snapchatting right now inside the Escalade, and that is not an overstatement. But right now we are in a real lockdown. We're kind of observing what's happening. And also the other news we got was that my source that I talked to this morning said that Kim is probably going to take about a month off, and that security has been amped up considerably.
1,000%.
1,000% was the quote I had, but nonetheless, good. That's good news, and I think she needs that, whatever makes her feel safe.
Of course, we are keeping an eye on every single aspect of this story. We got to go for now, though. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, tonight, if you miss any part of the live stream, you can circle back on Facebook, rewatch it throughout the day. And then on the network TV side this evening, we've got E! News. That is at 7 and 11 and midnight. Till then, have a great day. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.